were you surprised today at all when I took you to an Arab leader here in Hebron, right behind the Tomb of the Patriarchs and Matriarchs? I took you to meet the head of the Jabri clan. And I wanted you to meet him because I wanted you to meet an Arab who sees a one-state solution with Arab residency, Palestinian residency in the state of Israel as at least a first step towards a solution.
You would have surprised me if it was like on day 1 or 2. We've spoken to a few Arabs now, though. One thing I've noticed is that we speak about Israel and the problems you have in the Knesset and the division in Israel, and then the Palestinians are always the Palestinians. But we've been here for almost 2 weeks now, and the Palestinian or Arab population in these lands are as diverse in opinion as the Israelis, as the Jews. So yeah, it was cool getting another perspective. But yeah, I've definitely seen there's a lot of division between.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's already a good thing. Just to understand that it's not Israel, one monolith versus Palestine, another monolith. Did you at all start to track away from the two-state solution idea? I did my best to try to impress upon you that cutting up this tiny piece of land, giving a part of it over to the Palestinians in order for it to become what would eventually become a jihadist state is a bad idea. I tried to wean you off of those ideas that have been tested and have failed over and over again, and really help you come to a conclusion that this tiny piece of land should stay whole, and that real peace looks like a strong Israel on its land, surrounded by Arabs on their land, or are you still holding on to the fuddy-duddy?
So this is my perspective.
I'm trying to goad you here.
Yeah,
is that coming across here? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But this is my perspective. At the end of the day,
no, but I do mean it.
At the end of the day, I'm American. I actually don't care that much. Whatever happens here it doesn't affect me personally. And I think everybody should know that kids that are protesting on college campuses or whatever, these guys don't give a fuck. In 6 months, they're moving on to I'm sorry. In 6 weeks or in 6 days, depending on what's going on, they're moving on to the next thing. So overseas, if nobody lives here, they don't have a direct investment here. Nobody actually cares. I care insofar as I'm interested in the history and I'm interested in how things turn out. When I talk about one state or two-state solution, or the Emirati solution, or whatever the fuck else solution, or the Jordanian corridor, or whatever, or the Sinai, I don't actually care principally about any of these things. I guess what I'm most interested in is what do both sides want? What are the red lines on both sides? And how can that be nudged so that these red lines overlap instead of being completely when both sides are contradictory, both can't exist at the same time, is what I'm looking for.
Mutually exclusive?
Yeah, when both sides are mutually exclusive to each other. That's the kind of thing that I am. So if somebody came up to me today and they said, we just did a poll and 75% of all the Palestinians, 75% of all the Jews, they all came together and they said that they could handle 2 separate states and they'd feel comfortable, and I say, okay, I'm a two-stater. Right. If somebody comes up to me and they said, we polled and 85% of people all say that, you know what, Arabs are cool having a separate kind of parliamentary body, they'll live in a one state and everybody will be happy, blah, blah, blah. I was okay, fine, then I'd be cool with that. People oftentimes from the West, we do this thing where we want to impose okay, well, you need, you don't have a bicameral legislature with a constitution, well, you guys need to do that first. And then well, you guys don't have this, and it's that's a mistake. I think it's stupid, yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's a very fair answer, except for one thing. Okay. I think it's a very fair answer as a foreigner talking about this place. I like that you're saying, look, I'm not here to impose the thing, and I don't care so much because it's really not my thing, but I'm interested in trying to move people together. The only mistake in that, in my opinion, is that here in the Middle East, as I told you, my colleague Noam Arnon came up to a very important, prominent Arab around here, gave him a solution idea, and the Arab said to him, I really like it. It's a good solution, but you're going to have to force it upon me. Because as an Arab, I can't now get out there and be like, yeah, I can accept Israel and I'll be a resident of Israel. There's an honor thing, and therefore, I like your solution, but you're going to have to force me to accept it so that I could save face. And say, okay, well, they forced me, but it is a good solution for my people. But I just don't want to have to be accepted like a Westerner and be like, yes, I vote for this solution.
I disagree, but all the historical examples I'm going to cite are things where you said Israel has made mistakes. So, Ben-Ami says over and over again that I think Israel can figure out how to do peace, but it can't force the parties to be ready for peace. That typically that's been on the Arab side. So it took, Yom Kippur in 73.
So that's where the mistake is. He doesn't understand that you have to force peace.
I understand.
Yeah. By the way, you spoke to a ton of what I call lefties.
Sure.
You spoke to a ton of them. And I asked you a question. I said, did you by any chance say to them do you want to apologize for the crap that you pulled?
They all understand that they didn't work. They understand the plans didn't work.
Did they understand that they failed tremendously and helped radicalize Palestinian society to the point that the kids now are jihadis and that they've been educated through the system that they created? The PA has created an education system to teach kids to hate Jews. That's what these guys have succeeded in doing.
I think that it's easy to think of counterfactuals where everything would have been perfect, but one thing that Israel is horrible at is I don't think Israel takes credit for the tremendous progress that they've made in conjunction with the Palestinians that live here. Like, for all the horrible refugee camps, for all of the horrible UNRWA brainwashing, for all the horrible whatever else, the Palestinians are like the second most literate group of Arabs in the world.
Right.
You know, for as horrible as people will say that, you know, these particular areas are, the standards of living here are among some of the best for Arab populations around the world, you know? And people will say that, like, oh, like, look, you've destroyed them. No, Syria is destroyed. Iraq for a while was destroyed. Right. Yemen is destroyed. Palestinians definitely have issues, and I'll say this, I'll leave this out here a little bit because I know you're going to disagree with it a lot. I came into the past 2 weeks, I came in here hating the PA, hating Mahmoud Abbas. And after, you know, touring through some of the cities, after seeing the police officers around, after hearing what they used to be like, what they are now, there is a sense of security. There is a sense of people could be out. I think I give them a little bit more credit than I used to, yeah. But
that's interesting. You know, for me, when I watch Palestinian Authority television, which I have at home, it is 24/7 brainwashing to kill the Jews. It's really pretty sick. When I pick up from the trash Palestinian Authority textbooks here, it's literally like 2 dead Jews plus 2 more dead Jews equal 4 dead Jews, correct? Like, it's really pretty sick. And okay, but it's interesting that you see it that way.
Abbas is an improvement from Arafat, I would say. But maybe you wouldn't feel that way?
Yeah, I don't know. And also, like, I just know too many Arabs who have been literally tortured for taking selfies with Jews. You know?
I mean, first and second intifada saw 1,000+ collaborators that were tortured and killed too as well.
It's just horrific. And you sat with an Arab today who kept saying to you, how could your government, this thing that's supposed to symbolize liberalism and democracy, support these dictators who oppress our people and steal our money?
I mean, dictators work in some parts of the world for a while. You said it yourself. You guys agree that sometimes the interim, sometimes not all at once, right? Yeah. And I think one of the big mistakes actually was Israel assuming, like, oh, we're going to take these people, you know, Mordecai Kedar would say these people that organize along families and tribes and clans, and we're going to thrust upon them liberal democracy, thinking that the only 2 options are liberal democracy or this incredibly theocratic dictatorship, not realizing that there might be like interim steps in between that are okay steps in between. But that's a more macro question than maybe I'm equipped to answer. But.